Hello and good evening, and welcome to another video brought to you by UFOs and conspiracyinfo.com. And we're looking today at a JPL.nasa.gov image, a rover picture on Mars, and it's picture PIA05990. A couple of things I want to point out here in this picture. Now, what I did is I downloaded it. Now, the link is in the description down below, so you can do exactly what I'm doing, so you can check it and verify it for yourself. Okay, and what I've done is you've got like various choices here for images, and I have downloaded the image. So here it is, and I've got the zoom facility. Now, the first thing I want to point out is this. Let's zoom into that crater. Okay, we're going to zoom in. Now you tell me if or if not, what you see here is water. Okay. Now you could argue that this is rippled sand that has like a watery type look on its surface, but is in actual fact just ripply sand. Because the trouble is that there's filters used on the cameras on Mars, on the Martian rovers. We've always got that red tint. We don't have the Earth-like colours. I personally believe it's like Earth-like colours, but they disguise a lot of anomalies on Mars by using filters. That's just my personal belief, and it's shared among so many others. Okay. However, to me that looks like water. It could very possibly be water. Now, if we were looking at that, I would not use this as evidence of water on Mars, because you simply just cannot tell. To me it looks knee deep, and don't ask me why I think that. It's just a hunch I've got. It looks knee deep. Looks like water blowing around in the wind. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, but what is further confirmation is this. Okay, check this out. Now this is the rover tracks. Now, it is said that Mars has 2% moisture, and I'm talking about water moisture, H2O. That's the official stance on the Mars precipitation. Okay, now, I don't know about you, but to create tracks like that, we're talking about more than 2%. Now, it so happens that this is near a body of water. The ground, the surface, is actually quite wet. Okay. Now, these tracks, the tread, the definition of the tread, you don't create tracks like that on bone dry ground with a trace of water in it. It doesn't happen. You would have ever so faint of a track, if any kind of a track at all. This is muddy, soft, pliable mud that's got a lot of moisture in it. That's what we're looking at here. Okay, which confirms to me that this is water inside the crater. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. That's how it looks to me. I mean, you look at the mess that the rover's made with all the tracks. Okay, if you were standing there in your socks and you were walking around, your socks would be wet. You'd think to yourself, "Oh my goodness, I must go and put my shoes on." Yeah. Okay, so the second anomaly that I want to point out is a possible anomaly, and it's curious. Okay, but I don't know. You decide. It's this thing over here. What does that look like to you? Okay, now it could be a rock, and it could be a coincidence that the rock just so happens, by a freak of nature, to have kind of created eyes, nose, mouth, a head shape with ears and a chin. Yeah, that could happen. But the reason that I am curious about this is because this is not the first time. This is a poor example of a head type structure that could possibly be a statue from once upon a time when Mars was populated. But Mars is full of these type of anomalies. I've seen far more defined, clearer anomalies showing something like this. If you look at my previous videos, you'll see. And just recently I did a video of a like a dragon type creature, on Mars, and it had a full body as well as a head. And I mean, we're talking clear definition. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind at all of what we were looking at. You know, it just could not have been a rock. Could have been a stone carving. In fact, it most probably was, but certainly not a natural rock. So this is now the trouble is that if we zoom in further, we lose far too much resolution. Okay, but you can, but it just becomes even more difficult to tell. But even with that poor with it all pixelated, you can still make out this. There's something three-dimensional on the surface there. It's just the question is it a rock or is it like something artificial from a civilization once upon a time? Okay, so water and a possible secondary anomaly on Mars. There you go. So take a look at the image, comment, tell me what you think.